The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Café. This is the United Podcast Network.
Welcome to the Sicilian Corner, winner of the Italian Heritage Media Award, with your hosts, Tom Zappola and Mike Lamazzo.
Okay, we had to get into the mood. Welcome to the Sicilian Corner. Tom Zappola, my compadre, big brother, Mike Lamazzo.
Good morning, everybody.
This is our feast show, and we are honored. We have royalty in the house. Royalty, I tell you.
Royalty, yeah.
The chairman of this year's... Are you a co-chairman or the chairman?
Co-chairman.
Who's the other chairman?
Joe Mariano and Joe Madolo.
Okay,
It's
so he's
three
one
chairmen.
of three. One of the three co-chairmen, Wayne Peters. Some of you may know Wayne. In the past life, he was an accountant. And then we have the president of the St. Alfio Society, Tony Palmisano. Welcome. My cousin Tony,
Yeah.
my oldest and dearest
Dearest
friend
friend.
Wayne. It doesn't get any better than this. You're listening to us on Facebook Live, what's her name? Alexa, YouTube, iHeartRadio, 98, 980, whatever, ABC, CBS, the Porn Channel.
WCAP.
WCAP. We're on all these things.
I did.
Can I say something?
Go.
When I saw that entrance, the entranceway, I mean, just hear the people saying, "Here they come! Here they come!" In the background, you can hear, that just gets you started. That even got me started. I mean, and we're 10 days away still.
Right. Tony?
First off, thank you. Give us the opportunity to come talk to everybody on your networks and about the feast. Yeah, very excited about the feast. So I just want to start off by saying, if you saw yesterday's Tribune,
Don't pay any attention to
It's
it.
next July 8th.
yeah, shocking. So the dates were wrong, but the dates are this year, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We're back to 3 days, and we are going September 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. So just want to put that out there.
Good man, Tony.
If there's a problem with the dates, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
Labor Day weekend.
Labor Day weekend. There you go.
That's the key.
Listen, we're going to be all over the place today with the feast because all four of us have experience in different segments of what the feast is all about. Mike and myself did the entertainment for many years, so Mike can talk to that. Tony and Wayne. Wayne's been past president. Tony's president. I can talk a little bit about the history of the organization because of my grandfather. My grandfather was one of the three founding members of the club, of the society.
That's something, huh?
Wayne and I growing up. So we're going to go all over the place. Let's talk about, first of all, though, this year's feast.
Okay.
Talk about the schedule. Let's get that out of the way. What's the whole weekend like,
Okay.
Tony?
So first
Wayne.
off, if you saw the opening, you saw that the saints were coming out of the church. Well, again, just to give a little background, last year because of the rectory fire at the at that time it was Corpus Christi Parish, we actually brought our saints who permanently live in the lower church. They're housed in the lower church, which is now Holy Rosary Shrine, came out of our building. So one of the first things is that about a month or so ago, we were able to bring the saints back into the lower church. So they'll be coming, as been the tradition for 98 of the 99 years, they will be coming out of the lower church.
Perfect.
So
Great.
we're very excited about
That's
that.
good news.
Very excited.
Good news.
Second thing is we are back to 3 days. So we're going back to 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, September 2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
We should have a piece of cardboard with it written on it.
I'm sorry. I just got to tell you a quick story, all right, about the dates. It's almost comical, right? So we met with the reporters twice about this story.
For what newspaper?
The North of Boston Media Group, or otherwise known as the Eagle Tribune.
Thank you.
Okay. And not only did we meet with them twice, they also came to one of our meetings because they wanted to get a feel of the organization, which is great, absolutely
Showing
fantastic,
interest.
right? And both of the young ladies walked out with the poster. And if you see,
Did it have the dates on the poster?
right in the middle of the poster, there are the dates. The thing that's comical to me is that, listen, we all make mistakes, but the reality of the situation is that I'm not kidding you, I've had 150 calls from my members.
Well, that's good, though. At least they're paying attention.
Saying, Tony, do you know the dates on the... yeah, no, I don't know. I really don't know.
I'm going to interrupt you just for a second. David, can we post these dates on our show and keep it up there, Chrissy, as the show goes on when it airs Friday?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we can do that.
Perfect.
When the show airs, that'll be up there.
Perfect.
Good.
And so, unless you're completely off the planet,
It's always been
the
Labor Day
dates
weekend.
that they put in the Tribune could not be the dates because they were midweek dates, and we're always on the weekend, and we're always Labor Day weekend. Which anyway.
So let's
move on.
Here's what I'd like to do. Let's
I'll go
spread
through
it
some
out.
of the dates.
Let's do Friday first, and then we'll talk a little bit.
Okay. So Friday, again, back to 3 days. Friday, 6 o'clock, we start the parade/procession that leaves from Lawrence City Hall. So this year, there's a little bit something different. I'll let Wayne kind of comment about what's going to happen right before the parade. Okay. Go ahead, Wayne.
So at 6 o'clock at City Hall, just before we kick off around 6:15, there's going to be a presentation made by the city of Lawrence. They're going to make a special plaque presentation
To me?
to Patricia Mariano.
Oh.
Who's
Well-deserved.
dedicated
Yeah,
the Leahy
really.
School, the new Leahy School.
Well-deserved.
Well deserved.
So one of the councilors has called and asked permission to do that just before we kick off. And obviously, Patricia is a big fan of ours. Her husband, her son, her father. I mean,
So
it's a big
that'll be
tradition.
so that'll be, and I'm asking you guys these questions.
Yeah.
So that'll be
The parade marshals.
Well,
asking
these
the
guys.
questions.
No. Here's my question. So I'm assuming that everybody will be lined up, ready to step off, and then.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank
yes.
you. Right.
Yeah. I mean, we just want to be.
Appreciate that.
We just want to be around there. Give her some support too. I mean,
Good.
you know,
No, absolutely.
As she's getting this prestigious
great.
award from the city.
Great.
That's all.
Great.
That's fantastic.
So-
nice gesture.
And we have a few other little special items that are going to happen that aren't on the post that we're going to talk about, but that's the first one. So in order of
Good.
items, that's the first one. And then we parade, we go through the streets, the same procession that we've done for the last 99 years.
Yep.
And then we'll wind up at the church, and then we'll go back, and then at 7 o'clock, very, very strong entertainment lineup for the whole weekend, all local entertainment. So I'm very, very, very proud of the effort that our entertainment committee's put together. So I have to thank Joe Delali, Jimmy Cimitaro, Joe McQuarrie, and they've done a really good job. So anyway, that starts at 7. Beer and wine tents back this year.
You want to go? You want to go through the entertainment? No.
Yeah, we can go. We can do it, but let's go Friday, and then we can talk. So then, beer and wine tents back. We have a lot of vendors. So I have to think. So this year, right? I went to Wayne early on and said I would really like you to be the feast chairman, and then I would like also to get some of the younger guys involved, because one of the things that he and I, first of all, I have to tell you, guys, not because he's sitting here, but I have never had the kind of work, support, cooperation from a member that Wayne has given me. So on a personal note, I want to thank him personally, publicly. I've done it in meetings, but I want to do it in a public way. He has been an unbelievable support system. He's worked tirelessly. The work that he's done, you will see over Labor Day weekend the results. The vendors, being involved directly with the vendors, being involved directly with entertainment, on every aspect of the feast. He has been a phenomenal feast co-chair.
Wow.
And I've really relied on him.
Congrats,
and he's been
Wayne.
a
Congrats,
phenomenal
man.
job. Yeah.
Thank you, Tony. I mean, again, it's a lot. It's easier. It's not. It's a very hard job. It's easier being the past president. I was a past president for 6 years, so I know
You
exactly.
know all the moving parts.
I know everything that has to be done.
Right.
And I tried to Joe Mariano and Joe Modolo. I sat with them at the beginning of this year and try to give them an overview of what our job was. And our job is not to micromanage. Our job is to make sure that every committee is doing their job and make sure that we're on track and on time. And they filter everything through us so we know what's going on.
Good.
That's
the way
our
it should
goal.
be.
Yep.
But I also have to share this. In past administrations, I'll just use that term. There's been administrations that, for some reason, didn't really sort of embrace the feast chairman position for whatever reason. They undermined it. They didn't really think it was important. Guess what?
They micromanaged is what they did.
They did that, but more importantly, again, I'm here on a positive note. Nothing's negative, but there were areas that suffered because of that, because there wasn't the attention given, the accountability wasn't made.
The reason, Tony, for that is when you're the president, and he's understanding this now, and I try to tell him before day one of his administration, it takes up so much of your time, starting the day that you get inaugurated, all the way up into the feast. You're inundated with calls every day. You're trying to, so many things. It's impossible. It's impossible to run the feast and the organization without something slipping through the cracks.
I want to say
Hence
something.
why there's
here.
a feast chairman.
I hate giving you accolades because you're my cousin. You're my cousin.
Yeah, okay.
But with that being said, I cannot tell you how many people, I'm talking some of the old timers, and you know who some of those old timers are, like the old school guys. They've all said they cannot believe the job that you are doing as president, and you have finally taken this organization to the next level. So congratulations.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you. I appreciate
Instead
it.
of having two
God, I hate
organizations,
paying
there's
him
one,
compliments.
and they're all looking forward to
Nice
one
job,
goal.
Tony.
Well,
Nice job.
I came in with the message that of really a couple of things. One was that I was all about being inclusive, right? I was all about people working together. Second thing is I was all about people really understanding and respecting each other, because that's really important. Because when you work so closely together with people, I mean, there's going to be everyone has an opinion, right?
Sure.
And that's okay. I'm okay with everyone's opinion. But at the end of the day, when the council or the majority in the body says we're doing this, then we're doing this, right? So my feeling is that if you're one of those people, and this has happened a lot, right? We've been around a long time. If you're one of those people that doesn't agree with where the direction is going, then what I say to those people is, in the past, they'd be like working behind the scenes to undermine what we're trying to accomplish.
Hoping that you would fail.
Exactly. And what I said is, listen, I'm not going to tolerate that, right? I'm going to listen to you. I'm going to hear your opinion. But at the end of the day, when we make a decision as a group, we're going to move in this direction, then you get on the board, get out of the board.
Good.
I'm not dealing with this. And if you come to a meeting, you see that.
And that's what I was
I
going to
put
say.
all the negativity. I don't want to hear the negativity.
That's good.
I want to hear about positive things. We have a lot of work to do. We are challenged, right? I mean, every nonprofit is challenged.
We've talked about that.
We've come through this pandemic. We're challenged. Organizations like us, traditional organizations, we're all challenged because we have an aging population of both members and people who attend. So we are really behind the eight ball when it comes to trying to keep these traditions alive.
Absolutely agree with you.
But we all love this organization.
And Mike and I, just off record just a little bit, Mike and I this past weekend, we were at the Fisherman's Feast, and we thought that as a matter of fact, we had Don Struzzulo on the show. Yep. Don was concerned about what you're talking about, but guess what? They got there. And the St. Alfio Society is going to get there too. But let's get. Go ahead, Mike. You want to say something?
No. I was just saying. I think the key to it is, Tony, you need to bring in the young and keep the old. You have to have that blend.
Yeah.
Nice blend.
You
Nice balance.
You got to balance it. And I think what you're doing, you're on the right track.
Absolutely. And Bosco said that to me. Mr. Dejadouis, the ex-president, he's like Ray's age.
Right.
We were talking.
He's old?
He said, Bosco said to me, what's the key here is that Dom's generation, which is a little younger than you guys, they have blended with us. They blended with us, so it's the old and the new traditions, and they understand it.
It's a tightrope.
All right, listen, we got a few minutes before our first rest of Friday.
So the rest of the Friday, again, beer and wine tents open this year. We have a lot of great vendors, but the most importantly is that on Friday night, one of our standard local bands, John Tomaselli and the B Street Bombers, are going to end the show on Friday night. We're looking very, very much forward to that opportunity to have them come, and that will be that's Friday.
That's a great kickoff. B Street Bombers, great band. They've been around for 50 years. 10 horns, just a great band. That's a good kickoff to the
good show.
Now, just real quickly, we have a few minutes. Historically, The Friday night has been going on for 30 years, maybe 35 years.
It was since the 75th.
Since the 75th. Okay, it used to be 2 days. We expanded it to Friday night, which has been a huge hit for the organization, which I think is good. The whole 3 days rather than 2. When we were kids, used to start at Saturday. At 4 o'clock. Right. 4 o'clock. What else? So we have a couple minutes. All right. So a couple minutes. Let's talk about Saturday.
Okay. So Saturday. We have developed, and maybe this is a good place to start. So, as the folks out there may or may not know, last fall, Father Mon, who is an Augustinian priest, who was our pastor at Corpus Christi Parish, he retired. And real quickly, Cardinal O'Malley, who's the head of the church here in the Boston Archdiocese, desperately tried to find another Augustinian to replace Father Mon, and that just couldn't do it, right? So what happened was Cardinal O'Malley, who is a Franciscan, reached out to another Franciscan order that was already here in Lawrence doing mission work, and that was the Franciscans of Primitive Observance. So there's about 9 of those individuals that were here in Lawrence doing mission work. So he reached out to them, and they asked them if they would be interested in taking over the parish, which now they've rebranded Shrine, because that's the terminology the Franciscans used. So it's been an unbelievable partnership, working with Father Peter, working with Father Francis, working with Father Andrew, and there's about 5 or 6 other brothers that are in the area. And so what we've really done, we've developed a real strong partnership. I mean, Wayne can talk about that too. Father Francis has become our chaplain, so we've instituted, one of the things that we talked about is, how do we get guys closer? How do we develop the relationships and the bonds rather than, seeing a guy, 3 days of the whole year?
Sure.
So with Father Francis, we started something called the coffee talks. But then once a month, we've been doing these social dinners, and the Franciscans come. And one thing you have to know about these guys, if you see them, they wear the robes, they have the beard, shaved head, sandals, right? Mm-hmm. So they take a real strong vow of poverty. And so what that means is that even their daily, food intake, right, is all through donations. They get no salary, literally.
Seriously.
Yeah, they really live very simple lives, which is the role model, I guess, of Saint Francis, correct?
Yeah.
So, long story short, we developed this partnership with Father Francis, Father Peter, working together. And so one of the things that we did is to kind of reach out, and this was sort of the gist of yesterday's article with the Tribune, is about how we're reaching, I use the term across aisles, but we're reaching across because the Shrine has a very large following of Hispanic and Latino people. And the other difference is that unlike a church where, if the Augustinians, the Holy Rosary footprint or the parish, if you lived in a neighborhood, you had to go to that church, or your more importantly, your records, your go to that church. Where a Shrine, it's more wide open. So they have people that coming from Boston, from the South Shore. They have people all over who believe in their mission that are supporting the Shrine now. And so we really worked hard together to work with the Latino. So I know I'm going off tangent here.
Well, we have about 2 minutes.
Okay. So anyway, the head of the Spanish music. So at the Shrine it's now called the Holy Rosary Shrine. At the Shrine, on Sunday now, there's a 10 o'clock Mass in English, and then there's a 12 o'clock Spanish Mass. And first of all, attendance on both Masses are way up, but the Spanish Mass is like jam-packed.
Okay.
So the guy who heads up the music for the Spanish Mass, Rocky, I can't think of his last name, Wayne, he is performing. He's a Dominican. He has a band. He has a huge following. He's performing at 1 o'clock on the main bandstand. That just came about last couple of weeks. That's why it's not on the poster. So we got that. Then acting out, the theater company from Lawrence, the kids company, they're coming back at 3 o'clock.
They're great, Tony.
They're going to be fun. And then they're going to do a performance. They're performing twice, once on Saturday, once on Sunday. And then after them comes the Markers. They're doing a performance at 4. And then there's Mass. And then 6 o'clock, something else. Joe Jalali and his band's coming back.
Good band.
They're going to get going. And then 7:30, we got the Torchlight Parade. Why don't you tell them about the Torchlight Parade?
Torchlight Parade is probably the highlight of the weekend, for as far as I'm concerned, other than the Moment of Glory. Our organization is 160 plus members.
Because of the Sambuca.
We divide the organization into 3 groups, and they come from 3 different directions. And we meet at one intersection in the corner of Newbury and Common Street. Walking through the streets at dusk, we're holding flares, and Tom's got burnt a few times. And he got lost a couple of times. We took the wrong turn. But anyways, we meet at that intersection with, followed by 3 bands with each group, and we meet at that intersection, and it's the cheering and it's the camaraderie, and then we have fireworks at Tripoli's parking lot. 50,000 firecrackers are lit all at the same time.
See, I said 100,000.
I think it was 50, but
right,
it could be more.
It could be more.
Who knows?
It's a lot of firecrackers.
It's deafening for about 3 minutes straight. It's deafening. You can't hear yourself talk. And then each band comes into the center and they do a couple of songs, and then they march, and some of the members march with them back to the society one at a time, and then we kick off with the next group that goes on.
Right.
Right.
So one of the things that happened
about a minute.
in the last couple of weeks that's not on the poster that we talked about, there's a couple of special events, right? We talked about the first thing
Right.
with Pat Mariano getting, so at around approximately 8:30, at the end of the Torchlight Parade, on the main bandstand, there'll be a special presentation that is going to take place. Now, when I was in Methuen Cable Access TV, I made mention of this. I know what I'm about to say sounds cryptic. I don't mean it to be cryptic, but we're trying to keep it a surprise.
Correct.
But here's what I can say. There'll be a special presentation that will be made after the Torchlight Parade on the main bandstand. There will be an individual there who is a local musician who is a 4-time Grammy Award nominee who will be part of the presentation. There will be some music that's going to be played, and that is about all I can say.
That's all.
That's all I can say.
You know something, though? It's going to be great.
That's all I can say.
It's going to be great.
That's all I can say.
You know, a lot of us have personal reasons.
Yes.
It's just going to be great.
Right.
All right, Tony and Wayne are in the house. We come back, we'll talk a little bit about the history of the organization, what it's all about, and then we're going to talk about Sunday. You can talk about Sunday.
Yes.
You've done nothing. You've done absolutely nothing, made no contribution.
I'm resting today.
You're resting?
Today's my day of rest.
Hang in, we'll be right back.
Ciao, this is Esther of You, Me, and Sicily. I want to talk to you about Tommy Amin and the great staff at Butcher Boy Market. Families, foodies, and home chefs come together at Butcher Boy to talk good food and create traditions. They offer the best in quality cuts of beef, pork, lamb, poultry, and restaurant-style steaks and chops. Produce? All of their produce is hand-selected to complement any meal or even to make it your main course. Their deli serves fresh roast beef, turkey, and beautiful imported Italian cold cuts, cheeses, and antipasto. And don't forget the Butcher Boy Bakery, featuring sweet delectables from all over the state, as well as their very own bakery. That's Butcher Boy, where the secret to a great steak is, of course, the steak. Located at 1077 Osgood Street in North Andover, Massachusetts, in the Butcher Boy Plaza. Ciao!
Looking for that something special? All of us here at the Sicilian Corner suggest trying Ristorante Uno, located at 119 Salem Street in Boston's historic North End. For the most exquisite dining experience in an intimate setting that serves authentic regional Italian cuisine and features old country service. Try Ristorante Uno. Did we mention their award-winning wine cellar? Ristorante Uno, 119 Salem Street in Boston's historic North End. Call 617-573-9406 for reservations. That's 617-573-9406. Tell them the boys from the Sicilian Corner sent you.
Today, Lawrence General Hospital has affiliations with leading Boston academic medical centers. Top specialists from Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center and Floating Hospital for Children at Tufts Medical Center work with our local doctors to bring world-class care close to home. Today, amazing partnerships are happening at Lawrence General Hospital. To learn more, visit lawrencegeneral.org/today.
Italian artisan cuisine combines simple, fresh ingredients with time-honored preparation to create an incredible culinary experience. At Tuscan Kitchen, located in Salem's historic Depot District, talented chefs prepare everything in-house from scratch for all to see. Guests enjoy their meal literally in our kitchen as food is prepared right in front of you. Wood ovens burn from morning till night, roasting vegetables, baking bread, and firing delightful thin-crust pizzas. Prime steaks are seared on a wood grill grill. A rotisserie slowly roasts marinated whole chickens and lamb, while a pasta maker creates fresh fettuccine. More than just artisan cuisine, Tuscan Kitchen features the wine bar, live entertainment, weekly wine tastings, and elegant private dining and event space. Call 603-952-4875 or visit TuscanKitchen.com to make a reservation and learn more about the culinary adventure that awaits. In Italy, cooking is an art form. Tuscan Kitchen. Experience artisan Italian.
Essex Orthopedics and Optima Sports Medicine is pleased to announce the opening of their American College of Radiology accredited MRI unit at their location at 16 Pelham Road in Salem, New Hampshire. So now, in addition to receiving the best orthopedic care in the Merrimack Valley, as well as physical and occupational therapy at Optima Sports Therapy and Rehab, you can also have your MRI, all in one convenient location. The doctors and staff of Essex Orthopedics and Optima Sports Medicine have been dedicated to providing outstanding medical care to the Merrimack Valley in southern New Hampshire since 1984. Located on Route 97, just off Exit 2 from Route 93 North, on the second floor of the Workout Club of Salem. You deserve the best care, and that's exactly what you'll get from the board-certified surgeons at Essex Orthopedics and Optima Sports Medicine. Please call 603-898-2244 to schedule an appointment.
A loyal sponsor for the Sicilian Corner is Hilton Oil Company. Hilton Oil has been located right across from the South Lawrence Common since 1932 at 101 South Union Street. Hilton Oil Company specializes in 24-hour burner service, oil deliveries, including automatic deliveries, serving all the Merrimack Valley area, plus portions of southern New Hampshire. If you want your car fixed right the first time, bring it to Hilton's state-of-the-art service station. Remember, Hilton's is also a Mass State Inspection Station. Hilton Oil Company, 101 South Union Street in Lawrence. Call 978-687-9793.
This is Cindy
and Mike Kunstler,
owners of Grazie Italian Restaurant in Drake, Massachusetts,
the hidden gem of the Merrimack Valley.
In addition to spectacular views overlooking our golf course, we have an incredible Italian chef, Benny Curti.
Benny was born and raised in Italy and came to be our executive chef in 2013.
Benny is so passionate about cooking. If you haven't experienced the food at Grazie Italian Restaurant, you're truly in for a treat.
Grazie Italian Restaurant, located at Four Oaks Country Club.
Okay, we are back chatting with Tony Palmisano, president of the St. Alfio Society, and Wayne Peters, chairman extraordinaire. Listen, before we continue on Sunday's schedule, Mike and I were a little remiss. Actually, I was a little remiss because I forgot. We cannot express, on behalf of Kathy Beauchar Reynolds and the staff here, our thanks for the GoFundMe fundraiser for Chris Beauchar. The goal was $80,000,
which was high.
And we listen. When we started this, I said if we can raise $10,000. Now I'm not saying we're solely responsible. However, from last Tuesday to today,
listen to this, folks.
$93,000 has been raised for Chris Beauchar.
How much, Sean?
$93,000.
Did you say 93?
$93,000.
Did you?
So I am. We're personally, on behalf of Kathy, just thanking everybody for stepping up to the plate.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations, and we're really
this
happy.
was huge.
Great job.
All right, let's talk about the feast for Sunday. Sunday is the big day, Wayne.
Sunday's the biggest day. So starts off at 10 o'clock, Mass on Sunday morning. Before the Mass, we march as a group through the regular parade route.
Procession route. Thank you.
You know where that is, Tom?
I do.
You do.
We go right by his house.
Right by my birthplace.
So we end up at
down the Common by Lawrence High.
So I have to stop you for a second.
Here we go.
Go. I like this.
I got to stop.
Here we go.
All right. So listen. So for the last 30 years, my good friend, former past president, and he's our friend, right? He's one of our mentors, Ray DiFiore.
Absolutely.
A few weeks ago, had a medical procedure, and make a long story short, he and I have been steering Nevada for 30 years, right?
There's your problem.
We've been steering Nevada, but that's not the problem. The problem is that the parade marshals are in present company included, kind of like are having cocktails. They're drinking. They're doing this. They're we're supposed to go this way. We're supposed to go this way. So.
Never paying attention.
Never paying attention. So Ray will be at the feast, but because of his medical situation. And by the way,
He's doing better, much
he's
better.
doing much better. But this year it's like a mash unit. We have so many guys that.
Well, who's
that are
steering
injured.
Nevada?
So, oh my God.
See, that's problem number one.
Sal is
Close. Close.
So Wayne and I talked about this a few weeks ago, and I said, well, listen, I don't know what we're going to do. Ray's not going to be there. I'm not there. And listen, it's not that it's the most difficult job, but it's tricky. I mean, moving that thing around is tricky,
And the
too much
coordinating with
separation.
you got to coordinate it, right?
Right.
So Ronnie Valenti is gonna steer the VADA.
Problem
with
number
some
one.
help. So not only do we not have the guys that know how to steer the VADA steering the VADA, but then Mark Leone, another member who had a kind of a serious motorcycle accident a few weeks ago, who was also a co-parade marshal with you. Tommy's doing the Tommy thing.
He calls
right?
me up and says, "You're coming out of retirement."
Tommy's doing the Tommy thing, right? And so really Mark's there, Ronnie helps. So we might wind up in Prospect Hill. We might wind
I do
up
have a
in
problem,
South
though.
Union Street in South Lawrence.
never know.
I have one concern.
Are you being serious or joking?
Both.
Okay.
I think I know what this is.
My concern is
Yeah.
the gentleman
Yeah.
that you have at the front
I knew that.
I'm going to be dealing with
Yeah.
is 4 feet 2 inches
Oh
tall.
yeah.
So,
he is short. He's a
Why'd
short
you
guy.
take the smallest guy?
So he picked him.
Yeah,
Which,
I
by
think-
the way, is a wonderful pick. But
Yeah.
we're going to need stilts for him.
Yeah.
Normally, it's like this when you got to see them. You
I want to
right
get
in front of the.
Yeah.
He's going to have to wave a
Go.
flag.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to wave
Like
a
a tour director.
All right, let's talk about Sunday, Wayne.
All right, keep
Anyway.
going on Sunday morning. So our solemn high mass is at 10 a.m. The Bishop Hennessy is going to be celebrating the mass along with some of the priests from Holy Rosary Shrine. Right after that, at 12 o'clock, we go as a group upstairs into the society. At that time, by tradition, by ritual, the president at that time announces who is going on the VADA. Now, for those of you who don't know what the VADA is a wagon or a float or whatever you want to call it that the saints are actually placed upon when they come out of the church, and the saints are paraded through the streets.
Which, by the way, is the only Italian feast in New England that it's done like that. Everybody else carries their statues. So.
Yeah, and the VADA is spelled V-A-R-A. It's not
Right.
It's VADA.
V-A-R-A.
Yeah.
So, okay, so at that time, the president announces who's going. It's a high honor to be asked to go up on the VADA. There are 6 gentlemen, actually 5 with the president, and they are on their VADA throughout the procession, which starts at 3 o'clock, coming out of the church.
Now, hold on. There's a little something. We're going to do a little something different?
Yeah. So again, about.
Just so I know.
Yeah. So a few weeks ago, so we've been meeting on a regular basis probably since mid-July on Tuesday nights to do, because there's a lot of details,
Sure.
right? So.
By the way, I'll be at the meeting tonight.
Yeah.
Famous last
By
words.
the way, he's not picking you up. Okay. I'll be at the meeting. Can you pick me up?
Which means he may not be there.
He may not be there.
I promise I will be there.
Yeah, you're even money not to show. That's all I'm going to tell you right now. I think the Ladbrokes put you up.
Everybody knows you.
So
continue.
So I need to say a couple of things prior to telling you this other special sort of thing going on. So one of the guys who's really been influential in sort of developing this relationship with the Franciscans has been Al Espina,
right?
And to some degree Dominic Messina as well. So I have to thank them. But what transpired, we were at a post-feast meeting a few weeks ago, and I was talking to Father Francis, who has really been, as I said earlier, he's our chaplain. We have a really good relationship with him. And I was asking him, are you excited about the feast? And he goes, yeah, but I'm a little nervous about some stuff. And we talked about a couple things. And I said, well, his Father Peter, who really is, in their terminology, they don't use the term, pastor.
Right.
But Father Peter is the head of the shrine.
Okay.
And then Father Francis is there, and then Father Andrew, and like I said. And the other thing, they can administer all the sacraments, right? So they can do masses,
Sure.
weddings, funerals. We were there a few weeks ago for Mass, and they did First Communion. So anyway, we were talking, and he said, because he thought there was a blessing. And I said, no, there's no blessing. Meaning at 3 o'clock, prior to the saints coming out, he thought there was a blessing. And I said, no, there's no blessing. I said, but I looked at him and I go, that's a good idea. So we are now right about 10 minutes to 3, prior to the saints coming out. Father Francis will come up on the VAR, and he'll do a blessing prior to the saints coming out, which I think is really nice.
Will he be mic'd? No.
Yes, absolutely mic'd. Absolutely mic'd.
By the way, I had to send him an email at the new itinerary.
Oh, okay.
Because normally we don't get to the church led by him until right at 3. So you have to be there at 3:45.
2:45 will be there.
Right. So that's kind of...
And the music stops.
Yes. Yeah, we're going to stop everything.
Okay, good. That's a great idea.
Yeah, and he'll have a blessing and he'll come out.
Continue.
Yes. All right, so at 3 o'clock, the saints come out of the church and are paraded through the streets. It normally takes about 5 hours, the whole procession from start to finish. And then, but at 6 o'clock, as they make their rounds throughout the street and come back in front of the society, they stop, and it's roughly 6 o'clock, 6:30. It's called the Moment of Glory, which is the highlight of the weekend. Our past president, Dominic Messina, comes out with the pastor, or Father Peter, this year, says a blessing. Dominic does some cheers, and at a certain moment, after a couple of songs are played, everything just illuminates.
Well, the St. Alfio band, led by Sal Erna, what they do is they play what's called the hymns of the three saints.
Right.
Prior to, they play a march, kind of a hymn, and then another march, and at the end of the third march is when the moment of glory, everything explodes.
Right.
Pigeons, by the way, congratulations.
Yeah, we secured. We had a little problem with the pigeons, which we secured them on Sunday.
Yeah. They had, listen to this story. They had a hard time getting pigeons, right? Yesterday afternoon, all day he was in the common catching them. I couldn't believe it.
Now, what do you dye them? How do you get them white?
No, they're not going to be white. This year we had to pass on the white ones.
Yeah.
We had to just get regular.
The ones from the Everett
pigeons.
Mill.
As long as they find their way home. That's the main thing. That's all the way.
So the gentleman in Drake doesn't supply him anymore?
Wayne's got a new connection.
No, he's out of Pelham, New Hampshire.
Pelham, New Hampshire.
His name is the Pigeon Guy.
The pigeon guy.
Ron.
No.
Ron, the pigeon guy.
So a few years ago, talking about Dom Messina. So Dom Messina is one of our also traditions. At the end of the Mass on Sunday, Dom comes up and does his commentary on the feast and the year,
which is always moving.
Yeah, spiritual, right? But there was a speech a few years ago where he says, we have a guy. I know a guy.
I know a guy.
So this is a classic I know a guy story.
Right.
So what happened was, Saturday night or Sunday morning, Wayne sends a text saying somehow the guy that we've been getting the pigeons from, that Ray was working with, who basically handed off that assignment to Wayne, basically said, I don't have the pigeons. So, long story, I'm reading the text. It's the three of us, the three amigos right here. We're on the text, right? I'm thinking, holy shit. I said, I'm sorry.
Oh, you can.
I said to myself, I knew a guy from Salem who used to breed and race homing pigeons, because it's a sport, right?
Yeah.
So I called the guy. I haven't talked to the guy in 10 years. So I called the guy, and he's retired now, and he says, oh, Tony, how you doing? I go, great, Donnie, how you doing? Great. He goes, listen, are you still breeding? I go, no, I'm retired. I live up in, someplace up in the Lakes region now. I go, no, but. So I told him the story. So I said to him, no, I know a couple guys still in the area. So I said, great. He gave me a name. 10 minutes later, he called me back and says, hey, call this guy. I gave the name to him, and guess what? We got the pigeons.
Tony says, I got a guy. And Wayne got the pigeons.
And got the pigeons.
Good job.
Great job.
We got a couple of minutes. Let's finish off Sunday.
Right.
And then when we come back, a little history.
All right. So right after this moment of glory, which lasts about 45 minutes, probably to an hour, right after that, by 8 o'clock, the saints are brought back into the church amongst fireworks, confetti, bands playing. And right after that, our final show of the night is No Shoes Nation Band.
Kenny Chesney. Kenny Chesney. Right.
Kenny Chesney music.
That'd be good. Country.
That finishes around 9:30, 10 o'clock. And when that finishes, we have our
the raffle
drawing right at that point. So.
You know what's going to be interesting this year?
No, it's going to be interesting.
See, typically.
Did you buy any tickets, by the way?
I know what I do. I don't. No, the answer to your question.
Just write a check
I
for
write a check
$100.
for $100.
That's good.
Write me a check for $100 before you leave.
Every year.
That's right.
But you know what I'm going to do? This year, I think
I'm
I'm
going
going
to get the $100.
Can I put my grandkids? Can I put their names?
Yes, of course.
I'm going to fill them out.
Yeah, fill
Usually
them out.
I just give a check.
Yeah.
But I'm going to fill them out this year.
So I have to say,
That'll
this
be a
year,
first.
so again, there's a lot of feast chairmen that really work hard. We're talking about the feast raffle, so I have to give a shout out to Joe Bella. Joe Bella and his crew do a fantastic job. This year, we're going to have 2 locations on the street. There'll be one right in front of the Society building at 20 Common Street, and then there'll be one at the main bandstand. So there'll be 2 opportunities. If you come to the feast, and we hope everyone out there who's listening is coming to the feast, one of our key fundraising events is the feast raffle. So if you would like to take a feast raffle chance, it's a book of 7 for $10. First place is $5,000, second place prize is $1,000, third place prize is $500. But more importantly, this is one of the instruments we use, revenue streams, to really offset all of our expenses for the feast. And so I want to thank Joe and his committee for doing that. And again, the money that we raise helps offsets the cost of running the feast. And there's a lot of zeros to our budget.
Absolutely.
Just like running a house, the feast costs are going up.
It's unbelievable.
Like
It's a lot of zeros to our budget. So anyway, thanks, Joe, and thanks to everyone out there who buying. And I got to give a shout out to Gino Baroni.
Well,
one of
I was
our
going to say
members.
this.
He buys
he's
a
unbelievable.
lot.
He does phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
All right, well, listen, when we come back, a little history of the feast, and then a lot of accolades and thanks to a lot of people behind the scenes, guys that put the lights up. You can throw some names out. Hang in there. We'll be right back.
This is David from the Sicilian Corner. You know, Mike, Tom, and I love to go to Salisbury Beach, but we love different things and we can never agree. Tom likes the casual family-style dining with great Italian cuisine, Capri Seaside Italian Grill. Me, I love the elegant romantic vibe, Sea Glass with the amazing view and terrific menu with prices that'll make it the place you want to visit every week. Mike loves a drink in his hand and a cool ocean breeze right off the surf and the rhythms of an even cooler reggae band. We all know Mike loves Bob Marley tunes at Surfside. Who doesn't love a great show? National acts, comedy, regional favorites in the beautiful and intimate Blue Ocean Music Hall. Lucky for us, Atlantic Hospitality is the host of all these great places, and they treat everyone like they're Mike Lamazzo. And best of all, we never have to choose. Park the car once and all of this fun is right at your fingertips. We can have it all in the heart of Salisbury Beach. Find out about all the ways you can have a great night at Salisbury Beach at NorthshorePavilion.com. And Mike, Tom, and I will see you there.
This is Tom Zappala. Located in the heart of downtown Haverhill, the Haverhill Beef Company is a full-service, old-fashioned butcher shop and meat market that continues to be a valued family tradition since 1952. Peter and Monica Carboni's Haverhill Beef offers individualized service from an outstanding selection of marinated sirloin tips, homemade sausage, marinated chicken, and thick, juicy Chairman Reserve steaks. Your family deserves the best, so call Peter at 978-374-4795 or visit their website at www.haverhillbeef.com.
Hi, this is Mike, and I would like to tell you about the Deborah Care Law Offices, a firm that is focused on estate planning, probate, trust administration, and elder law issues. You will feel comfortable discussing important issues concerning both you and your loved ones, as well as having the information you need to make an informed decision about your family's future. How do I know? Because I'm a client of Dan Deborah Care. If you want to have peace of mind knowing that your loved ones are protected, call Deborah Care Law Offices today. In Massachusetts, 978-686-4645. In New Hampshire, 603-894-4141.
At Catadella Funeral Home, we reinvest in our business to provide your family with the best facilities. It begins with a beautifully landscaped exterior, parking for 250 vehicles, and a comfortable and inviting access to our renovated interior. Funerals can be costly, so you should review and compare plans to make sure you receive services that are fairly priced. I invite you to experience the Catadella difference in cost, facility, and service.
Catadella's honoring and celebrating the lives of the people we loved, providing exceptional care since 1929.
This is Cindy,
And Mike Kunstler,
owners of Grazie Italian Restaurant in Dracut, Massachusetts.
the hidden gem of the Merrimack Valley.
In addition to spectacular views overlooking our golf course, we have an incredible Italian chef, Benny Curti.
Benny was born and raised in Italy and came to be our executive chef in 2013.
Benny is so passionate about cooking. If you haven't experienced the food at Grazie Italian Restaurant, you're truly in for a treat.
Grazie Italian Restaurant, located at Four Oaks Country Club.
Okay, we are back with Tony and Wayne. talking about the Feast of the Three Saints. Next weekend, a week from this coming weekend, Labor Day weekend. Before we get into the accolades and talking about the sponsors, real quick history. This is our 99th. Next year is going to be our 100th. And Wayne already has his 100 St. Alfio 2023 button on. Maybe we can talk about that the last couple of minutes, what some of the potential plans are for next year. Feast started in 1921, brought to Lawrence by 3 or 4 immigrants from the town of Tre Castagni, Alfio Bonacorsi, John Farrow, my grandfather Gaetano Teresi, Ignazio Scuderi. There was a bunch of them. And the initial purpose...
was that Joe Scuderi's grandfather?
Yes.
That I don't know.
Yes.
Was
Yes.
it? Yeah,
Yeah.
it could have been.
Wow.
What initially what it was a mutual benefit society. They had the feast. They would raise money, put the money in the till, and over the course of the year, help other Sicilians who lived in that area if they had a tough time with food, sickness, or whatever.
Being out of work. If they were out of work, they didn't get paid.
Correct.
They didn't get paid. You didn't eat.
Correct.
So,
and from that point on, the feast just morphed into the signature event in the city of Lawrence. We agreed.
Agree.
Right?
Can I interrupt?
Go.
I have to say, a lot of people really don't know about the Three Saints. And this is something that we, Tony, myself, and a few others have really tried to get the word out exactly who these brothers are.
Good point.
These were 3 brothers going back 2,000 years ago that during that time, the Romans, they had people denounce their Christianity. And when these brothers were confronted about denouncing their Christianity, brothers 19, 20, and 21 years old.
from a wealthy family.
They refused to denounce their Christianity. So because of that, they were tortured. They were dragged through the streets of Sicily, tortured, and made fun of. And all they had to do to get out of it was say that they denounced Jesus Christ. That's all they had to do. And they would have been released and everything would have been fine. They refused to do that, and they were put to death. One, Alfio his tongue was taken
19,
out.
how old?
19 years old.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And the other 2, one was burnt at the stake, and the other one was
Boiled.
in burning oil.
Keep in mind, by the way, that I was remiss in telling you that the original feast of the Three Saints, St. Alfio in Tre Castagni, has been around for hundreds and hundreds of years. And the immigrants that came here brought that tradition here to the United States. It's not something that they decided to start here like it was an idea. It was something that evolved.
Right. Our organization is built upon faith and family
values
and tradition.
Right. Absolutely.
That's what our organization is all about.
Now, in Italy, the Torchlight Parade does not exist. Am I correct?
Correct.
In that?
Correct.
How did the St. Alfio Society start that here in Lawrence?
That's a good question,
That is a
Mike.
good question,
We've
isn't it?
talked about that in the past. Because
it's amazing.
What
It
it
really is.
does basically, what they decided to do is, if you go to, you've been to the feast, haven't you?
Yes.
Okay, if you go to Tre Castagni on Thursday, well, not Thursday, starting the week before, people from within a 25-mile area of Tre Castagni, they do a pilgrimage
right.
with
Huge
candles that are 6 feet
Yeah.
long, 6 feet long. And at the Church of St. Alfio, in the back room, there is there's a
room.
It's a big room that has this big pit in it, and they light the candles and they burn the candles all day long.
Yeah.
The tradition of the torch, obviously we couldn't do that here in the city of Lawrence.
Right.
So the tradition kind of morphed into that, where at least it's a symbol. We use flares, they use candles. Not only that, but on the Thursday, the day before the fireworks, it's absolutely amazing because that's when they have hundreds of people with lit candles going down the main thoroughfare of Tre Castagni into the church.
Right.
And I'll tell you something. The road, it's like a skating rink. People fall, they slip all over the place because of all the melted wax.
Sure.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah,
It's unbelievable.
all the melted wax.
it's quite impressive and it's quite emotional.
So you think that was the...
Yeah. I mean, I'm 99%
So back to the Torchlight Parade real quick, because in my mind, as Wayne mentioned earlier, it's one of the highlights of the weekend for members, but it also it's quite comical actually, right? Because what happens is, I think Tom explained this. So we divide the membership into three groups, right? And we have a group that starts on Jackson Street that marches to the intersection of Common and Newbury. We have a group. We're all Newbury people.
By the way,
right?
Hold on. By the way, you're the one this year.
Yeah.
Ray's not going to be with us.
No.
You're going to have the walkie-talkie.
No, thank you. No,
I have.
Oh,
he takes the walkie-talkie. So we have a group in Newbury Street that marches down, and then we have a group that starts on South Union that marches and comes all the way up Common Street.
How about from South Lawrence? Do you have anything?
With Tommy, that might be.
No presents.
Couple years. We've taken a wrong turn once in a while.
But so with the objective being, objectively, we're trying to, and we have walkie-talkies, there's music playing, we're trying to all converge
at the same time,
simultaneously. It's comical. It really is. Where are you? We're here.
I have the walkie-talkie. I have the walkie-talkie. I'm going, Jackson Street, can you hear me? Union Street, can you hear me? And all you can hear is the band playing in the background.
Got nothing going on.
Jackson Street, check in.
So it's a small miracle that we actually make it to the intersection.
And converge at the same time.
Exactly. It's a small miracle. But
listen, you guys, let's talk about some of your committee members.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's throw some names out.
So in no particular order, this year, Mark Battle, who basically took the baton from this gentleman right here a few years ago, has been sort of helping with corporate sponsors. But there's been a few other people. But just want to thank Mark. He's done a phenomenal job on his corporate sponsors.
It's a difficult job.
Stop you there?
Yes.
I want to personally at this time thank Mike Lamazzo for years and years.
Yep.
He's done the job that Mark Battle has done. He did a fantastic job. And I want to thank you, Mike, personally.
Yep.
From me.
And same here.
From Tony.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
For Becky, can I thank you too?
For all that you've done.
No, you forget it. These two, I listen.
Mike, I got big plans for you.
I mean that from the bottom of my heart.
We have
really
big plans for you. Right. Big plans for the 100th.
We worked well together.
We did.
All right, let's move on.
So I want to thank Mark, and we can talk about some of the sponsors, but also want to thank Dave Cucciaro and his daughter, who pretty much stepped up to take over the website. So if you go to our website, and again, a lot of information we've discussed, but if you have any questions, please go to our website because it really is timely, and all the information is on there. And the website is the word 3saintsinc.org. So if you go to the website, information's on there. The whole schedule's on there. If you want to be a vendor application's on there. If you want to be a sponsors information's on there. So it is really a great vehicle. If you have any questions about the feast or details, go to the website. They've also done a really good job with Facebook, putting and promoting this. I got to thank Alex Caprioli. He did the promo for the feast weekends. That's on there as well.
What about the light guys, the guys who put the poles up?
Yeah,
okay.
I was going to get to that.
Why don't you give him a chance?
I thought he was done.
No, I was just getting through these.
He's nervous.
Yeah, he's nervous.
All right, I'm sorry.
So anyway, so this year, Chuck Fuca and Glenn Gary have stepped up again to sort of coordinate the lights. So they have been working with a bunch of guys, putting up the lights, putting up the poles, and Wayne can attest to this. Again, this is all about just good communication, right, and working with people, communication. They have been so far ahead of schedule that it's been really kind of like easy on everybody instead of hustling. And then we've had other people that have stepped in to help with, getting bucket trucks and lifts. Jimmy Piemonte has been helpful getting a lift so it's easier to put up the lights and everything. Good. So it's, again, walking into this about 8 months ago, as president, and again, I'm very proud to be president of this organization, very proud to represent all of you guys here on the table as your president, but one of the messages is I said it's all about working together, and I made the analogy earlier in the show about getting in the boat and rowing in the right direction, and we are doing that, and people are stepping up and on a completely separate, not really feast related, but fundraising. Dr. Zappola earlier this year took it upon himself to do a tremendous fundraising. We were talking about that during the intermission about all the key sponsors. One of them being Jackson Lumber and Millwork, Al Turisi and the Turisi family. And that was a very successful night of fundraising that really was a whole different audience of potential sponsors that we never have really reached out to.
Good point.
So, we had people stepping up this year in different capacities that are taking leadership roles. And that's what I want. I want to empower people. I'm there to support them. I'm not telling them what to do because I don't think people who want to be told what to do. I think people just want to be given the opportunity, and we're there to support them. Wayne, myself, we're there if you need help, whatever you need. But, people have taken the ball, and they're running with it, and they're doing a tremendous job.
There's so many moving parts. The plan of feast of this size and magnitude is to our listeners, they can't really grasp.
Oh, it's a year-round job.
It is.
Right.
It actually is. Tony, parking?
Yeah, so Mike had mentioned, so when you come off of Marston Street, which is 495, you come off of Marston Street, there'll be some signs, but behind the mills, there's free parking, and then also this year, again, we're bringing back
shuttle.
American Training. They're giving us shuttles, so you park in the parking lot, it'll take you to the feast footprint, and you'll be all set with
We got
that.
about a minute and a half.
Yep.
Wayne, real quickly, your sponsors.
Sponsors this year. Gold sponsors, Tuscan Brands, Tripoli Bakery, Jackson Lumber, Market Basket, Cartadella Funeral Home, JG's Ice Cream, Cody's Towing, and Essex Corporation.
Good. Those are the prime sponsors.
Those are prime
major
sponsors. Yeah, and that's Orazio Garozzo and Jimmy Piemonte at Essex Companies, and then Gino Baroni and his company Trident, and then and really have a huge shout out to Joe Farrow. From Tuscan Brands. He's been a very, very strong supporter of ours in the past. Mike knows,
and his father.
And they've done a tremendous job. But there's one other little change that I want to talk about. So we have
30 seconds.
We have a tradition on Thursday night. We have a feast. We call Family Night. So Wayne and I have been talking about this again. And we said this year what we want to change it up. So on Thursday night, September 1st, at 6 o'clock, we're going to start off with a Mass at our family night. And then after the Mass, we're going to have a really nice buffet dinner that's the Salvatore's is going to cater the food. We did that back in May. That was a success. So that's another little twist on that. And then the last thing is we'll give a little tease to the 100th. So in November the 12th, Saturday night, November the 12th, we're going to start off with a little party at Sal's, and the tickets will be available if you want to buy the tickets, $60 per person. We're going to have a live band, so that'll be a kickoff to the 100th, and then who knows? We'll be back next year to talk about all the exciting things we're talking about.
We'll have you guys back
for
before
the
that.
100th.
All right, listen, we're out of time. Feast of the Three Saints, a week from Friday, a week from tonight, because you're watching the show on Friday now. A week from today kicks off. It's going to be a phenomenal weekend. I've already looked at the weather. It's going to be perfect.
Thank you.
With that being said, Wayne, love you guys. You know
Tommy,
what you guys
thank
mean
you.
too.
Mike,
Tony,
thank you. Thanks for all the
and to
support.
our viewers and listeners,
Good job.
remember, if you
Wayne,
can't-
you're the best, pal.
If you can't make fun of yourself, please do not make fun of anyone. Have a great week.
Audio Jungle.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Café, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.